This simple position tells us a lot about your body and, interestingly, even how long you might live. What I want to show you in this video is how you can improve, and much of it comes down to this one muscle, glute med, which helps stabilise the hip as you lift the leg off the floor. Now this muscle is the one that's on the leg which is on the floor, and it pulls the hip up. Now as we go through this video, I'll be talking about other aspects like the vestibular system, all of the muscles within our feet, the arches, and the real integrity that we require to stand on one foot. So let's start with a simple test. Anyone can do this. And I've put my socks and my shoes out in front of me and standing on one foot. The aim is to put my socks and my shoes on without touching the floor. Now I need to move considerably in order to do this, loading my hip but also using my inner ear to help me balance the vestibular system. And on my left foot I'm constantly having to adjust my arch, the muscles within my feet, in order to stand up correctly. It's important to say and to note that the foot that has no socks on at the time can obviously feel the floor, and this is a sensory input that the body requires. So by walking around with no socks and shoes on, we increase our receptiveness to the stimulus in our feet, which enables us to be able to maintain our balance. So do this test. Every time you put your foot on the floor, you get a point. You slowly want to be able to do it without getting any points. So how to improve our balance? We're going to go through the simple ones to the more complex. Firstly, we can just do an exercise where we stand on one leg and then pivot through the hip, putting both of our fingers to our toes, taking the movement nice and slowly before standing back up. It's really important to keep in mind when you're doing these exercises that you're not just simply working on the sensory aspects of your feet, nor the muscular aspect of your hip, or the inner ear sensitivity of your vestibular system. You're working them all, and each one of them is vitally important. An important note to make is that we lose components of these as we get older, whether that be our inner ear ability or our sight, which is also one of the other components of our balance. But here I've just made it slightly harder. I use the other hand away from the balancing leg to touch my toes, making it slightly more difficult to maintain my balance. And as we progress through the movements, making them more challenging, I hold myself into this position before taking my arms outstretched above my head. And then when I do that, I bring the arms round in a big arc, again working that right leg as much as I possibly can before taking the arms out and then back forwards over my head again. Bringing the hands back down to the centre and then standing myself back up again. So continuing to mix it up, again this is from the front view using the left leg this time. So we go down into a position where we're nice and straight with a straight long back with our foot extended. You can see the amount of work that's required of that leg which is standing. And then from here we just go around. So this is the previous movement, just taken from the front view. The foot has to work extremely hard to maintain that position before taking the arms back. And then you can mix this up, make it more interesting by just using one hand, which you can use. It's much harder if you use it on the other side, so there's the leg which is extended out the back, because you're taking your arm away from the fulcrum, which makes it much more challenging on the hip. So we're moving to more advanced exercises here. So we're going to do a shrimp squat getting the ankle with just the right hand side. You put something that's cushioned underneath it, just want to hurt your knee, and then lower yourself down, taking yourself into a position when you can touch the cushion, and then stand yourself all the way back up again. Hugely strength quad dominant orientated exercise on the left hand side, but tilting through the core in order to do it will just make it a little bit easier. To make it even harder is you would use two hands to grasp the ankle at the back before moving down into that position. Again, build up to this. Do exercises that I previously have been given about hip mobility and single-legged standing. This is an advanced exercise and very, very taxing. So what I'm going to show here is a multitude of different exercises with the kettlebell. So the first and the most easiest is to stand with the kettlebell on the side for which your leg is, which is the easiest. Obviously it's closer to the fulcrum. And then if you wanted to progress it up, you move the kettlebell to the other side. So this is the kind of process that we take as we get them harder. So if you wanted to move it up a little bit, you're going to put it to the shoulder, and you're going to have it on the side again, which is stood on the floor, and brace your core and go into a shoulder press, which is going to be super challenging. But what happens, you need to keep the weight really light when you do this in order to get used to being able to push the shoulder joint when your foot is on, just one foot is on the ground. Similarly, if you want to make it even harder, you move it to the other side, so you're having to load that one side of your body. And especially when you take the kettlebell out to the side, the glute and the stabilizers on what is my left side, so the right side as you look at it, are working really hard in order to do that. Now, the really difficult one to do is to stand on one leg. Again, I just have to take my time with this one. And on the side that we are, you need a very, very, very light kettlebell for this to extend your arm all the way out. Now that's working the side for which the glute med's on, which is the easier of the two. And then the hardest by far is this one, where everything has to work extremely hard in order to support the kettlebell and stop it from dropping as I extend it all the way out past that fulcrum. Very challenging exercise. Get a very light weight and then see how you get on. Now, it doesn't all have to be challenging with kettlebells. Play around with it. I just got a ball here and just started mucking around, standing on one leg, taking it out in front of me, and trying to catch it. I thought, what will I do to make it a bit interesting? And you can do that, make your house a balancing playground, really. It will only help you in later life. We're going to lose these systems as we get older. Our inner ear isn't going to work as well, our eyes will probably not work as well. And we need to play around with our balance. It's super important, and that's where the beginning of this video comes back to. Unfortunately, it's a real indicator of mortality. When we start losing our balance, we're more likely to fall over. We don't want to fall over downstairs or trip over. The statistics are there, the studies are there. We don't do enough of this stuff. So just work at it. This will make you, it will make you a lot stronger. It will improve your quality of life. So get amongst it. If you need anything, as you know, just reach out. I'm more than happy to help. But I think we'll leave it there. Until next time.